You're welcome to the talk time. The collection of the permanent voter cards are over. While many have collected, there is still a percentage who are yet to collect theirs. And with the collection now over, is there any remedy for those small percentage of registered voters who are yet to pick up their cards? For those who have picked theirs, do they understand the voting process? And also, does the situation on ground agree with INEC's statistics that about 90% of the PVC have been distributed? To provide answers to these questions is a former Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs in Lagos, Prince Rotimi Agunsoye, who is also contesting as a House of Representatives member for the Koshofe Federal Constituency on the platform of the All Progressives Congress. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. And with him is a lawyer and public affairs commentator who has been involved in election monitoring, Barrister Okpe Banwo. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, we shall also be joined later on the phone by one of the INEC's National Commissioner for Ekiti, Osun and Ogun State, and talking about Professor Lai Olurode to give us some statistics as to what the distribution percentage is right now and some other issues really. What are Nigerians saying about the PVC collection? Let's take a look.
And in the television, on the radio, we advertise we collected your now we are here to say you want to collected.
This is a usual scene at a typical PVC collection center in the nation's capital. Tempers of residents out to collect their cards are normally on the rise as a result of perceived inefficiency on the part of INEC staff issuing the cards. And although the queues have reasonably thinned down compared to what they used to be before the shift in the election dates, the people here still complain of long hours of waiting.
The whole thing is hectic. Some of us have been here before and here are we today. And if you, just from the time you came till now, I'm sure you've not seen anybody collected his card. And when you make it that slow, it becomes another problem entirely.
For some hours now, we have been here in this queue trying to collect our permanent voters card, yet nothing is done.
But the commission staff say most of those in search of their PVCs do not help with needed information. They insist majority of those struggling to gain access into the collection hall may have registered outside the city center.
Some will fill this form simply because they lost their TVC. When they fill the form, they are supposed to tell us exactly where they register. That way we'll be able to trace their code. But some, again, the name they put on the form is different from the one they put on the TVC. And you know this thing is alphabetically arranged in the printout and even in the cards. So by the time you go to Abdullahi Ilyasu, you will not see any Abdullahi Ilyasu in the register. He will end up telling you that maybe his name is Ilyasu Mutar. Some will register in Kogi, they will come here to collect their card. Some will register in Bayelsa, all over they will be coming to Abuja to collect their card.
Worse still, there are those whose cards cannot be traced, even where it is confirmed that they were duly registered. After many visits to their registration units, Rebecca Inyoda, Mike Habo, and Obina Joans are frustrated. They worry that they are already being disenfranchised since their PVCs can't be traced.
I've been here for the past 3 months now. Since January, I've been here. They saw my computer list, but they didn't print the card out.
I registered for Metama trailer yard. So I've been working since for this card and here that the director has come. They say they search the list, they don't see my name.
I've been here all morning. I first went to Caro and they asked me to come here. And I've been here since 9 o'clock. Only for them to tell me they can't find my card. I'm a civil servant. I spent the whole day, the whole man hours I've lost today. I'm not happy.
But this INEC official seems to have answers to their worries.
When we have cases like this, we have an incident from that we feel. So we have written her name and her phone number, which we have submitted to the office. Once they print the card, we put a call to her to come and pick up her card. And we are hoping to give her card before elections.
And while these people may be unlucky to have their cards, it's a different ball game for some others who spent less than 2 minutes to have their permanent voter cards.
All right, well, that's just one out of many reports we brought you earlier on the program showing how people struggled to get their cards, especially yesterday as the deadline lapsed on March the 22nd, Sunday. Now, gentlemen, really, how can we rank the distribution process INEC put in place in distributing these cards? First of all, Mr. Agusui.
Well, thank you. This is where the problem lies. INEC is doing its best to distribute the cards, but if you look at it, all those cards were supposed to have been posted to the owners. Look at what what our people are going through before they get cards. But let us leave that. We are going, this week is the determining week, the week of change. If we have a better government in place, then that government will be able to change those processes of registering and collection of cards. What we have, about 82% of the cards distributed now. I think if we can have that, we can still go ahead to have our elections.
All right, Mr. Attorney Bao.
Well, personally, I think regardless of what I've just seen this morning, I think I will give INEC more than 70% a pass mark in this exercise because a lot of the problems we're witnessing is actually, most of it are from the voters themselves. I'm not saying INEC is perfect, but the way we are in Nigeria, most of us don't have verifiable addresses, so to speak. Many of us use our names interchangeably. You put surname where you're supposed to put first name, and then when they ask most people to come and verify their registration a time back before the PVC started getting printed, most did not go, including myself. So, but my own experience, I always tell people, I judge stuff by my own personal experience. When I went to collect my PVC about 2 weeks ago, I went to Ikeja local government area. I was in shock, quite frankly, because this is what I've watched clips like this thinking it's such a hassle, and I never went. I kept talking about it. But the day I finally said, okay, I took all my stuff, we got there. All right, despite the fact that I live in Lekki, I registered the last day of the registration exercise because we're having a workshop here. I got in there, there are tables, I'm talking about thousands, in front of this lady. All right, they just asked me a simple question, where did you register? Oh, I said Adebola House. And then they pointed to the woman that was in charge of that. I got in there, 15 seconds, she came up with a badge. 15 seconds, she isolated my card. The whole thing, we timed it because we went with video. 52 seconds. So for me, who didn't even go to verify my information, to be able to get my card in under a minute, I have to give kudos to INEC. This is not about government or whatever. INEC is in charge of this. It's either they fail or they succeed. And I think they've done an admirable job. In a situation like this, certainly there will be exceptions to the rule. Some cards will be missing. Some will not be printed. I understand. But 82% distribution is far, far, far better. Remember, in the Ekiti election, we had about 60% or less.
Indeed.
All right, and the election held, and there was no problem. So for me, while we will not say INEC is perfect, a lot of the problems we are facing now is also from the voters themselves. Some, why did they wait 3 months before they go on the last day? All right. Now, of course, I'm talking for those who are going last minute. There have been others who have made serious efforts to try to get it, and they haven't. But those are in the overwhelming minority. So I think the voters exercise, I think INEC has done an awesome job considering the circumstances they had to deal with. And I think while it is sad that some may end up, and look at them, that see some cards that will not be collected. Some people are not interested in collecting the cards. Obviously, those cards there belong to somebody. All right. So, but we can't dwell on that. We have to move forward and then appreciate INEC for the job they've done. At least my own personal experience, the experience of 5 of my staff who went with me, we all left after 15 minutes.
All right. Prince Agosoye, like what he said, I've said it many times on this show that I collected my PVC as well in less than 30 minutes, and I didn't even have my TVC, but they traced where I registered, and eventually I got my card in less than 30 minutes. But that wasn't the same case anyway for my mom, who still doesn't have a card yet, though a name came out of it's on the register for this, that's supposed to get a card. Now, do you think INEC will be justified if eventually millions of people are disenfranchised for not getting their PVCs?
You see,
after postponing the deadline for receiving the PVCs for many times.
Get me right.
I'm not saying INEC has not done well. INEC has done pretty well. You see, when I said the issue has to do with government is this. Do we know the number of people that have passed on between the time we registered and now? We don't have that record. And when you are saying you cannot distribute up to 100%, out of the remaining, say, 18% that have not been distributed now, certainly there were people that have passed on.
Indeed.
Yes, we need to separate that from those that have not been able to collect their cards. Certainly, INEC has done very well. And that is the reason why I said we can go on with the 82% that have collected. So INEC has done very well. And for those, like when I collected my own card, the very day they started was the day I went. And when I got there, within 2 minutes, I got my card. You see, people have this nature of, I will collect tomorrow. I will collect tomorrow. And that tomorrow will never come until the end of the collection day. That is the problem.
All right, now let's talk about this last-minute rush, really, or last-minute mentality Nigerians have, which many have said that is not just affecting them because of PVC collection. It's one of the problems Nigerians are facing, that when you give them instruction to do something, they always wait until the last day, till the 11th hour to do whatever they are supposed to do. Even if you are given a year to do something, they say Nigerians will never go there until the last day. Why do we have this mentality really as Nigerians, most Nigerians now? Don't let me generalize.
Well, I'm sorry, it has to do with the government. Yes.
How is the government?
In 1985, was it 85 or 83? Yeah, between 83 and 85, when General Buhari was the president. I'm sure you will not forget in a hurry. Why? War against indiscipline. Now you have people pissing here and there, messing, everywhere. There was war against indiscipline. If you don't do it well, you'll be arrested. If you go on queue to get something, you see somebody coming from the rear to the front. That, let me have it. Because we are not disciplined. We need to have, a government that will put that in place. That is the problem.
All right.
Sincerely.
So what's your take on it, Doctor?
Well, I know that we have ample time to come at this government, but I'm still saying on this issue of the PVC, I don't think we see it as a government thing. Of course, with the right leadership, maybe the attitude of the people also will improve dramatically. That has been proven historically. But I think on this one, it's just the way people are. And I keep saying 82% collection and distribution is phenomenal anywhere in the world, okay? Ekiti, Oshu State never came anywhere near this, and I didn't see people complaining about being disenfranchised. This, I don't know what Nigerians expect INEC to do again. They've postponed it several times. There are a lot of enlightenment campaigns. Individuals, companies, parties have been doing it. So many people are simply not interested in collecting their PVCs. All right, simply because maybe they felt that the government doesn't concern them, the government doesn't take care of them. Going back to what he said, people don't feel connected with the politics of the government, even though the level is very high this time. So I think rather than us over-focusing on those who have not collected their PVCs, let's focus on those who have collected their PVCs and make sure there is security and they are protected in coming out to vote on that day. For me, most of those who miss being able to collect their PVCs, I would say more than 70% of them probably will only have themselves to blame in the sense that they didn't go on time. They didn't go and do the verification exercise. Do you know that less than 30 people did the verification exercise? So INEC is having now to do a lot of the work. Like that woman said, somebody will register as Aliu Ibrahim. But meanwhile, his real name, when he goes back there, he say, my name is Ishaku Aliu. The whole thing gets confused. And I think majority of the problems we have, because of the incidents of people like you, yourself, myself, who have gone there and there has been no problem in finding us, that gives me confidence that INEC is organized. This thing is alphabetically done. They've done a great job in trying to make sure the statistics is working. Of course, here and there, when you're talking about millions of people, there will be here and there problems. And I think a lot of those cards that you see
and for people who don't care. I have people like that. Even in my office, when I say let's go, a couple said they are not interested. No matter what I said, they don't want to go.
But do you really blame them? You know, a large number of Nigerians, eligible voters now in the country, have lost interest in the electoral process. Excuse me, in the electoral process put in place in the country every 4 years. They say it's no longer news for you to hear a mature Nigerian say that, okay, the vote is already decided, the winner is already decided, we know who's going to win, my votes won't count, so why should I bother myself to go out again in the sun to get my card and then go again to go and vote in the sun when I know my vote won't count?
Yes, I think that is the unfortunate situation that most Nigerians have been subjected to. But I think this year there's a different feeling in the air, particularly when they start talking about card readers and stuff like that. People are beginning to feel, okay, maybe my vote will count this time. But you're right. A lot of Nigerians over the years, they voted in 2003, they voted in 2007, they voted in 2011, and many of them felt that their votes had been stolen, just like we saw in Osun State when those tapes came out. Okay, how do you expect people to feel in a place like Osun State if they knew that the whole thing was manipulated from the beginning, as it appeared from what we had on those audio tapes, even though the whole thing has not yet been sorted out. Ekiti State. All right. So a lot of people are really discouraged by the situation, but I think with the emergence of a candidate like Buhari, and where that is mass based, and people are feeling, okay, maybe there is a legitimate voting exercise going to happen. All right, so that's why we see all these. 4 years ago, I don't think anybody would wait 4 hours to try to collect PVC. Really, I wouldn't even have gone. Okay, but this year, a lot more people are interested. That's why you see people really upset. They go to this place, the card is not there. They go to that place. They bother to go to a third place. I'm stunned. That means Nigerians really are interested in this election. They want to see their vote count for once. And that is why people like us, people like you, need to speak out, make sure we hold the government, INEC, everybody accountable for a free and fair election. Because if our votes don't count this time again, I myself won't vote again, ever. So to me, is a reflection of the way the government has related to the people over the years, and the way elections have been conducted, and hopefully this will be the beginning of good things.
All right. Now, Prince Agosoye, should INEC in any way still consider to maybe extend the collection period for distribution of PVCs for people that are yet to get, especially in the southern part of the country, where a state like Ogun State is still ranking low, the lowest really in PVC collection, and Lagos, which has the highest number of registered voters for the election, is just still within the range of 5.25% as at now. Now, do you believe that INEC should still try and extend it, knowing that it has done so many times?
If they could do election in Ekiti with 60-something%, I see no reason why that of Ogun should not be done. And honestly, INEC said they are still expecting some cards to be distributed. If that is anything to go by, they should try and give people till Wednesday to collect their cards. They should, because the fault is not of the electorate.
Yeah, what INEC said was that it was waiting for some cards to be distributed by last week Saturday.
I heard that about 2 days ago from INEC, that they are still, going to distribute some cards. If that is true, they should give people till Wednesday to collect their cards.
Nationwide?
Yes.
All right. Now, do you believe so? Do you think it's going to
Well,
help?
I will even say if it is possible to even give them up till Thursday even, but we all know logistically, see, we also have to refer to INEC. It appears I'm holding brief for INEC this morning because I'm just impressed by Jega, to be quite frank with you, and I have an idea, having dealt a lot with logistics of things like this for distribution of movies and stuff. I know how tough this thing can be. Now, while we might say they should extend even all the way to Thursday, if they can spare the staff. Remember, they are preparing for a nationwide election on Saturday. I'm suspecting a lot of all those people that are involved in distribution of cards are also the people that will be used for the election on Saturday. If that is so, it might not be practicable for them right now because they have to get ready for that. But if they are not the same set of people, there's nothing wrong in giving them till Wednesday, like you said, or even Thursday, because, like you rightly said, it's one thing for me to not to find my card because I wrote my name wrong or I didn't go and verify. It's another thing when INEC is admitting that some of those cards are just being printed.
All right.
Then they have to give those people the opportunity.
We have a call. I'm sorry, I have to cut you. Continue after the call. Mohammed, you're calling us from Bauchi. Good morning to you. What do you have to say?
So my contribution is that I'm watching your television right now and I am really enjoying the conversation.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mohammed. Oh, you just called to tell us that. Thank you. Thank you very much. You were talking.
Yeah, so I'm saying that it's one thing when it's my fault that my card is not ready. Maybe I went to the wrong poll or I didn't write my name right. They can justify all of that. But when INEC himself is saying that some cards are just being printed, that they got to give the people the opportunity to collect it. All right, and I think we've learned a lot from this. Hopefully going forward, they can even mail these things. I mean, yes, they can mail it by certified mail to people's houses. We don't have to all come and start lining up a day before. And maybe my advice also should be people should go out early, okay, so that you avoid it, so that if there's a problem with your card, that problem, there's an opportunity to solve it. So for me, while both parties are making a lot of about those who have not yet collected their cards, I would rather focus on those who have collected their cards, those who have shown their desire to vote. Let us begin to plan how to protect those, to make sure they come out to vote, while INEC might consider extending the time for collection till Wednesday if they can spare the manpower. But if they couldn't, I will understand, because I know the election of Saturday is probably the biggest election in Nigeria ever. It's the biggest test for Jega, with all the international bodies focusing on him. So if he over-focuses on distributing cards and he didn't do enough preparation to doing the election itself, history will not judge him kindly.
All right, now can we absolve INEC of all blames? There was a report we carried earlier in the package where the INEC Center on Lagos Island was closed. People were there to collect their PVCs, but nobody was given any card because the office was closed. They said they were relocating to another place that day, and nobody got the card. There was no clear instruction on when the people were going to get their card. That day just went without anyone getting the card because of relocation of the INEC office. But before you answer that question, we'll quickly take a call from Dominic. He's calling us from Imo State. Good morning to you, Dominic.
Yeah, good morning.
Go ahead, make your point.
Okay. The point I have to make is this. Many people are not ready to collect their PVC. Or maybe the PVC, their bill is not going to count. Like my area, those complain that going there that it will be stressful, that there is no need. If you ask them to go and collect it.
Oh, the audio is quite bad. Dominic.
That is what we discovered. So I don't think the people that have collected, I think it's okay. It's okay. Let's just do with them. And leave the people that don't want to collect. It's not hard. We should bring them from now to next year to remain here.
All right. Thank you, Dominic, for calling us and, of course, making your point. We could get a clear statement from you that some people are feeling that maybe their votes won't count. That's why they don't want to get the PVCs, and that INEC should go ahead and conduct the elections, that not everyone will collect the card. But I'd like to implore you, if you're going to call into the program, please reduce the volume of your TV set so we can get clear audio from you and be able to hear what you're saying. All right, we have another caller now. Osita is calling us from Abia State. Good morning to you, Osita. Make your contribution. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Yes, I want to really contribute on what is going on now. Like the PVC issue, what is really causing people is because sometimes you register in a particular environment, and at the end, when you come there, they will tell you that a group of people came to pick up that PVC to another stage, at another place. This is really because of our people. And I think something happens. I don't see a reason whereby people that are not INEC officials should come and pick up a PVC from a particular place. Then when you get there again, for you to collect your PVC, they will start telling you that you have to pay a particular amount for you to pick it up. It's very, very bad. And that is why a lot of people are really discouraged about this election. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know. I believe that a lot of people have been paid to be doing those things. I think something has to be done. They should investigate on that thing, and I believe that will encourage a lot of citizens in Nigeria to cast their vote very well. But whereby they get to a particular place, they don't see their PVC, they will tell them, go to the place. When they get there, people will start telling them, bring money, bring 200 naira if I will bring your PVC. It's very, very bad.
All right, thank you, Osita, calling us from Abia. And that was one of the issues raised by like two callers really last week, Friday, that the people given the cards to distribute in Abba, the person mentioned about Township Recreation Center and about Town Hall, that they were charging PVC collectors 500 naira, close to 1,000 naira to collect their PVCs there. We're yet to verify, though someone called in and said it was a lie. Anyway, but were allegations to it. So what would you say about some of these faults on the doorstep of INEC?
There is no how you can have a perfect system because of the situation in the country, and that is the truth. You were talking about INEC not going to where they are supposed to distribute cards. When people get there, they won't find them. You see, it has to do with manpower. How many people are actually working for INEC? I want you to get this right. INEC has done very well in so many areas. I will tell you that INEC has done well in the area of card readers. That's, look, we want to do verification whether you are the owner of the card or not. So, with the percentage of the cards they have distributed, I think I am satisfied that we can go to elections on Saturday. They will use their card reader to, you know, to make sure that people don't rig the elections. And also, Jega has, you know, told the people that, look, after voting, you can still wait to ensure that your vote counts. So, INEC has done well, but in the area of distribution, there is no way you can have a perfect system. The only thing we can do now is to wait for INEC to come out, probably today, to tell us that because of those cards that they were expecting about 2 days ago, now they have the cards, people can go and collect their cards till Wednesday.
All right, we have joining us now the, excuse me, INEC National Commissioner for Ekiti Ogun West, Professor Lai Olurode, to tell us some of the statistics we have presently as the end of the deadline basically for PVC distribution ended yesterday. Oh, apologies. It seems we've lost connection with the professor. We'll try getting back to give us the latest on where INEC stands on the distribution before the end of the program. All right, now what is your view on this? Some of these issues I raised about faults on INEC.
Well, it's not INEC's fault if some people decide to be fraudulent and start asking people for money. I think Nigerians.
The relocation festival, that was just an
yes.
It's just an allegation.
Okay, yes, like we have been saying, INEC is not perfect. They've done an admirable job as far as I'm concerned, and those issues will persist. I'm just very concerned. I'm not worried about those who have not been able to collect cards that have been printed. All right, that could be their fault. It could be they didn't go on time.
Right. We have. I'm sorry to cut you there. We'll continue after we take the INEC commissioner. We have Professor Lai Olurode back online to talk to us about some of these statistics. Good morning to you. Please, could you please tell us the total percentage of distribution of permanent voter cards right now in the country?
Well, all over the country, of course, there are variations across the states. But as of today, it's almost 82%. In fact, it's about 81.8 something. But you can roughly 82% of the permanent voters card have been issued to the public.
All right, now, so how's the distribution in Ogun State, which has the lowest percentage across the country?
It's 82% across the country. It's 82%.
No, Ogun State right now, which is the lowest, which has the lowest percentage.
State, I think we have improved on Ogun State. In the past 2-3 weeks now, we got delivered to Ogun State. It must be close to 300,000 or thereabouts. So we are now in Ogun State. We are about 65%. About 65% of the cards of the total number of cards that have been issued to Ogun State have been distributed to the public. So Ogun State, we are fine in Ogun State, and as we inch very close to May 28th, I'm sure for those cards that were delivered of recent, We are going to distribute up to Wednesday. So I think we were at a very comfortable level, even in Ogun State, which had recorded the least number of distribution before. So the appeal, I think, we are not so much bothered about the cards that are yet to be printed. Of course, there are outstanding cards. But the major challenge is for people to come out, to use the opportunity of today, tomorrow, and perhaps Wednesday to collect their cards, especially those cards that have been delivered to the state. And for Ogun State, for the cards that were delivered recently, we are going to distribute them at the PU, not even at the wards. We are going to the lowest level of the political structure, of the electoral structure, to distribute the cards.
All right, now the extension to distribute to Wednesday, is it just for Ogun State or nationwide?
No. For all the states where the cards were just printed and were just being delivered to the state in the past 1 or so week, we are going to distribute at the PU in all those states, not just in Ogun State alone. I think on your state also we have some cards that were just delivered maybe about 2-3 days back. They're going to be distributed at the PU level, just to make sure that people wouldn't have to go through any ordeal in accessing their cards.
All right, now, so what's the basically, what I want to ask you that what happens to the uncollected PVCs as Nigeria looks towards the elections?
Well, the commission has taken a decision, and I think the resident electoral commissioners have been instructed by the commission to retrieve the cards from the field, from the local government offices, so that they will be in safe custody in a state office. So nobody needs to fear that the cards will fall into wrong hands at all. That is not going to happen.
All right, now, so
as we have said, just in case some people happen to be in possession of these cards illegally, without any regard to the procedure that the commission had outlined, what we had advised is that people should be vigilant on May 28th. They must be sure that the person who has brought the card, the presiding officers have been well trained, but again, the polling agents must not go to sleep. I think the major burden is on the poll agents, as appointed by political parties, to make sure that they are vigilant, because the card reader will detect, we of course detect, but you cannot stop the card from being used. So people need to be vigilant to be sure that because the mere possession of a TVC is just a necessary condition. It's not sufficient for you to partake in the electoral.
All right, now, talking about the March the 28th presidential election, so the cards now, will there still be a time where it will be distributed before another election takes place in the country? And what's the sensitization of the voters like right now for people to know what they can do on election day and what they shouldn't do?
As to whether people should remain, already we know, you and I know very well, and the media has been partnering with INEC in this regard.
Oh.